Yeah. BINO Nation. I need y'all to put the shields in the chat. Make sure y'all hitting the like button as y'all come in. Make sure y'all supporting the show. We about to get into this topic. Yes, indeedy. Make sure y'all putting the shields in the chat. Put the BINO shields in the chat. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all hitting the like button, all of that good stuff. Make sure you support the show. Anybody that drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show.
That's that. BINO energy.
So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to explore this conversation about Umar. He is going viral across the internet. I mean, everybody's talking about him. So I figured we would dive into it again and talk about it again. So yeah, we gonna get into this. We gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about the truth about Dr. Umar Johnson's grip on the black community, along with other individuals similar to him. We're gonna get into all of these. We're gonna get into the minutia of this. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Mogul Mays for setting it off early. He said, why would he use the school account for himself? That's a good question. Shout out to Dietrich. Appreciate the contribution. Like I said, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the Cash App supporting the show. Anybody who drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show. Make sure if you're subscribed to the show, make sure you click the bell and choose to enable all notifications. That way you guys will know whenever we go live. You feel me? But other than that, without further ado, let's get the show started. back in the building yet again. Y'all already know what time it is, man.
You're now tuned in
You are now tuned into
to the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angryman.
So we gotta talk about Umar Johnson. Not so much the events that have transpired recently. I'm pretty sure you guys know about all of that, you feel me? But we're gonna dive a little more into the more important aspect of this whole Umar Johnson situation that really needs to be not only pointed out but examined. You feel what I'm saying? BINO Nation moderators, anybody that is in the chat room right now asking me questions that is not pertaining to this topic, kick them out of my chat room immediately. Going back to what I was saying, we got to examine the reasons why Dr. Umar Johnson and those like him can do the type of shit that they do. You feel what I'm saying? Like we gotta dive into this because it needs to be explored. It needs to be exposed because it really confuses me, or at least it used to confuse me. It used to confuse me why every time you have the emergence of notable people, right? At any given time, any span of 10 years, there's always going to be new figures that are going to pop up that are going to attract attention and start to gain notoriety. Have you ever noticed that Black people tend to always gravitate to the worst individuals? Like there could be individuals that are really on the up and up and really have something positive to say, really have a positive mission, and it's like Negroes will hate those individuals. I mean, flat out despise those individuals. But if it's some shucking and jiving, bullshitting, game running clown like Dr. Umar Johnson, like everybody just loves that Negro's funky draws. Like I can't name how many. Do y'all realize the tremendous L that the Black community is? And I know that's going to sound really redundant because that's all the Black community seems to ever do is take L's. But do you have any idea the type of L that the Black community is going to take when all of this shit finally comes out about Umar? Because all of it ain't came out yet. When all of the foolishness that he's engaged in, when it finally comes out, do you realize the type of L the Black community is going to take? Because I want you to think about this. How many Black content creators has interviewed this clown and took him seriously? How many? How many? How many Black content creators, podcasters, and we're not just talking about small podcasters. We're talking about anybody from Joe Budden to shit, Breakfast Club, like, or better yet, I have a better question. And this is how I know. This is how I know where I'm at. right? One thing I've noticed about the world, I can use the world as a barometer for whether or not I'm on the right side of history or I'm on the wrong side of history, right? Because sometimes I'll sit back and I'll be like, yo, I'm making a pretty decent name for myself um on YouTube, talking about a lot of different topics. Um I've contributed a great deal to the conversation that's being had now surrounding relationships, men and women. Um I've went viral more times than I can count. So much so that when I'm out and about, people notice me. And then I sit there and I think about all of those things. And then I wonder why a lot of these outlets, a lot of these podcasters, why haven't these niggas hit me up for an interview? And I know I keep asking that question, but it's odd. It's really odd. I said, well, why haven't any of these dudes like why haven't any of these podcasters or content creators hit me up for an interview? And then when I see someone like a Dr. Umar Johnson on every single platform you could think of, I sit back and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. There's three things I think of. Three things. There's three possibilities, right? One is the obvious possibility. The obvious possibility is that these platforms only interview him because they know he's going to say some shit that's going to end up going viral. So there's that possibility. There's the clout angle of it. Let's interview Umar because if we interview him, we're gonna do numbers because he's gonna do something goofy. You feel me? Or he's gonna say something goofy, and you know it's gonna go viral, and then we're gonna get views, right? So there's that possibility, right? Then there is the second possibility, which is they only interview him because black people's discernment is horrible. Black people's ability to determine whether or not someone is righteous or wicked is horrible. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think this is. I think that black people spend so much time focused on the perceived wickedness of white people that you don't have any discernment left when it comes to black folk. In other words, you spend so much time focused on white folk who ain't worried about you, by the way, but you spend so much time focused on white folk that you are completely blinded to black folk, right? So that is the second possibility, that black people's discernment is horrible, which is the main reason why all of these outlets will interview this Negro, because they can't see that he's full of shit, right? Then you have the third possibility. The third possibility is that the only reason all of these black outlets interview him is because he basically tells the black community exactly what they want to hear. He tells the black community exactly what they want to hear. The same way Dr. Umar Johnson is to the black community what Derek Jackson was to black women. The only reason black women loved Derek Jackson is because Derek Jackson would tell them what they wanted to hear, even if he was lying through his teeth. And it's the same thing with Dr. Umar Johnson. He tells the black community exactly what they want to hear, even if he knows it's bullshit. And he's convincing. He's really convincing. He's able to convince everybody that he really believes all of that bullshit, which I guarantee you he doesn't. Same thing with Derek Jackson, right? Now, the reason why I've come up with those three possibilities is because those three things would also be the reasons why those outlets never hit me up. Okay? Because one, they don't know if they can go viral interviewing me. Because as outrageous as I can be on my channel, as inflammatory as I can be on my channel, some of the wild shit that I say, I was always taught by my grandmother, when you go somewhere, you're representing your people, so you need to behave yourself. So when I do interviews, I try to do intellectual interviews. I don't try to say things that I don't try to be a shock jock. I don't try to be a provocateur. When I go sit down on someone's couch to interview, it's just like when I went to Anton's studio to interview. I'm not gonna sit up there and say no wild shit. And part of the reason is because, one, I don't want to put the other person's channel in jeopardy. So I'm not going to say some inflammatory shit when I'm sitting on somebody else's platform that could possibly or potentially go viral. So there's that. That's that first possibility. They don't know if Angryman is going to make them go viral. They do know that Umar will make them go viral because he says some racist ass shit. Let's just be real. That second possibility, the discernment. The same way they lack the discernment to know that Umar is full of shit, they also lack the discernment to know that Angryman is the real deal. Then you got the third possibility, which is Umar lying through his teeth to black people to tell them what they want to hear. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to black people. I'm not going to tell black people what they want to hear. And I'm certainly not going to kiss black folks' asses. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But see, here's the interesting thing about all of this. The interesting thing about it is that when it comes to the Umar Johnson types and their hustle, right? They're the worst kind of individuals. They're almost like, well, back in the day, they used to call them snake oil salesmen, right? It's like if you have some horrible, let's say for argument's sake, you have some ailment that could be terminal, some horrible. The worst kind of person is a person that comes to you with some magical cure, knowing in the back of their mind that it's not going to help you. So what they're basically doing is they're preying on your hopes and dreams. And you got all of these people complaining about the money that Umar got. Okay, he got money from people. That's messed up. You got people complaining about the school that never opened. That's messed up. You got his ex talking about how he has hurt black businesses by trying to sell them a dream. That's messed up. But I'm gonna tell you what the worst thing is about Dr. Umar Johnson. The worst thing that to me is unforgivable. The worst thing, in my opinion, is that he knows that the black community, because of the fact that the black community dwells in misery and despair, the black community covets the struggle. So there's always this ongoing thing with the black community, the we shall overcome mentality. The oh my Lord, things are so bad for us as black folk. We just need somebody to come along and help us. We need somebody to come along and give us the answers that we need. And you know, the black community is in constant search of a messiah, in constant search of a leader. Now, I believe this is due to the trauma of losing certain people during the civil rights movement. I believe that black people viewed Dr. King or Malcolm X or any of the other figures that we lost as savior types. And so there's probably a lot of black people that say, well, things would have been drastically different if this one hadn't got taken out or that one hadn't got taken out. So they're constantly in search of a new messiah. And people like Dr. Umar Johnson, they know this. And even though they know in the back of their mind, they have absolutely no intention of being a martyr for the black community. They have absolutely no intention of leading any real significant movement. They have no intention of doing anything except utilizing black pain for their own gain. They don't really care about the black community, right? And to me, that's worse than anything he's done, is to take advantage of black folk that have this defeatist attitude, that believe the only way they're going to ever get ahead is if somebody like a Umar Johnson helps them. If somebody like a Umar Johnson opens up a school for boys, if someone like a Umar Johnson speaks for them, and you know, and he's good at that. He gets up on platforms and he talks all of that shit. And what makes it so bad is this nigga ain't got no damn intention. He don't got no intention whatsoever. None. He's just basically selling niggas dreams. To me, that's worse. That's worse than anything. That's worse than anything. Now, niggas can call me whatever. Niggas can get up here and say that I'm a coon. Niggas can get up here and say that I'm a sellout. Niggas can say I'm an asshole. Niggas can say, well, you always talking about black folk. Niggas can say whatever they want to say, but the one thing niggas ain't gonna say about me, a nigga ain't gonna get up here and say Angryman trying to sell us a dream. I ain't selling no dreams. I ain't selling no dreams. I'm just talking my shit. At the end of the day, you could take it or leave it. You feel me? I'm not up here with some we shall overcome bullshit. I'm not up here with some, see, I don't have to get up here and preach to the black community that one day we gonna get prosperity, because your prosperity is already waiting for you if you get up off your ass and go get it. See, I'm not peddling dreams up here. I'm peddling reality. And the reality is the only reason why you niggas keep falling for the games and the tricks of Dr. Umar Johnson types is because you motherfuckers won't let go of the damn struggle. As long as you running around here thinking that the white man is a boogeyman, as long as you keep running around here thinking that you in the struggle and you can't do nothing because of systemic oppression and systemic racism, there's always gonna be a Umar Johnson that's gonna show up and pull on those racial heartstrings and feed that fear. I mean, you can go look at the countless podcasts of this race baiting clown sitting up there acting like we still in the Jim Crow era. Sitting up there acting like your damn world is gonna come to an end if you don't twist your hair up and put on a damn dashiki. And it's really disgusting when you really sit back and think about it. When you really sit back and think about it, it's really disgusting. It's disgusting. We don't need, we don't need no more Jesse Jacksons. We don't need no more Al Sharptons. The truth of the matter is we never needed them in the first damn place. We don't need that shit. You know what we need? We need more common sense, normal people that's willing to tell other people exactly what it is. You want to fix your problems? Let me tell you something. There is a parallel between what you perceive as racism and poverty. Sometimes you're not being treated like crap because you're black. You're being treated like crap because you're broke. Nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody's going to say that to you. I'll say it to you. Sometimes what you're perceiving as racism is really elitism. Sometimes people are looking at you a certain way, not because you black, because your ass is broke. So how do you solve this? Or better yet, let's do an experiment. If you think I'm full of shit, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, let's do an experiment. This is what you do. Instead of working some bullshit ass job at McDonald's, right? So that you can run around complaining about how much money you ain't making. Instead of going out here and trying to live out your young Jeezy trap star dreams, which only going to end up landing you in prison, why don't you go get a trade? Why don't you go get a trade, learn a marketable skill, a blue collar skill that you know for a fact is needed in this society? For every 5 tradesmen that retire, they're only being replaced by 2, maybe 3. There is a shortage. You could become a plumber. You could become an electrician. And keep in mind, this is not going to make you rich, but it's a starting point that can open up doors for more opportunity. Because guess what? As a plumber or an electrician, you can start out working for somebody else and you can end up being your own boss and having your own business and having plumbers and electricians and people working for you. Right? See, this is reality. This is reality. You go get your you go get your HVAC certification, or you go get your CDL, or you take up welding, plumbing, become an electrician, all of these different things, and then all of a sudden you start making more money. You start making more money. Now you're able to improve your living conditions, your quality of life. And mark my words, in this day and age, in 2025, I guarantee you that if you start making more money, you're going to notice all of the things that you think is racism, you're going to start seeing less and less of it. And in that moment, that's when you're going to realize that it wasn't even racism in those instances. You were being treated a certain way because people don't just treat people badly in this country because of racism. And don't get it twisted. I know racism still exists. Let's not even go there. Don't try to say, well, Angry Man, you trying to say racism don't exist. I'm not saying that. Okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that out of everything that you think is racism, I'd say it's the 80-20 rule. I'd say 80% of it ain't even racism. 20% probably is. And the 20% isn't even systemic or institutional racism. The 20% is somebody's a different race and they just don't like you because you're a different race. It's not something that has any bearing on your life or your, your circumstances. It's just some bigot that said some shit that was an off-color comment and it hurt your feelings. That's really what a lot of the racism is today, whether you want to believe that or not, right? But somebody like Umar Johnson, he's not going to have the conversation with you about, like, have you ever noticed that whenever he talks, everything he talks about doing is grandiose? Like, everything he talks about doing is some big grand dream. Like, bro, anytime somebody's talking to you like that, you got to look at them with the side eye. You got to look at them with the side eye. Anytime somebody starts talking in grandiose terms instead of down to earth, practical terms, you got to look at them with the side eye. Because look, in my lifetime, I've asked a lot of people for advice. And one of the things that I notice is at this point in life, I can tell when somebody's trying to sell me a dream. You can tell because everything is vague, abstract. It's like somebody comes to you and say, man, I'm struggling. I just don't know what to do. And they look at you and say, man, you ain't got to worry about struggling. Do you understand? Like, bro, let me tell you something, man. All you got to do is put your mind to it. And before you know it, you know what I'm saying? You'll be balling out of control, man. You'll be riding around in Bentleys and shit and all of this old bullshit. Like, that's just an example, but some people have the ability to say the right things. They know what to say to really get you caught up in that dream instead of telling you something practical. Like, okay, you struggling. Well, let me ask you this. What are you good at? See, if you have a conversation with somebody and they start out up here, you got to side eye that person. But if you have a conversation with somebody and they start out down here, in other words, they meet you where you're at. You see, if you're trying to ask, if somebody's trying to be a motivational speaker or they're trying to be a leader or whatever, like a Umar Johnson, if the only thing they want to talk about is where we're gonna be, you got to side eye that shit. It's cool to talk about your dreams. It's cool to talk about, man, 10 years from now, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing, it's cool. But at some point in this conversation, we got to talk about the foundation. We got to talk about the bare bones. We got to talk about where the rubber meets the fucking road. I mean, all of these flights of fancy is cool. We can talk about our dreams all day long. But at some point, we got to come back down to earth. At some point, we got to come back into the damn stratosphere and have a real conversation with some hard numbers. And like, this is the one thing that I used to hate growing up, because growing up, I've always bumped into niggas like Umar Johnson. Always. And all they want to do is sell you a damn dream. And you ask them over and over, so how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, it's always some kind of bullshit. It's never the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Okay, so this is what you need to do first. This is what you need to do first. Then you do this. Then you do this. Then you do this. They don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do that. They just, they keep your head in the clouds. Okay? If when you're dealing with the Dr. Umar types, they have to keep your head in the clouds. Because as long as your head is in the clouds, you're never going to pay attention to what they're actually doing. See, you can't have your head in the clouds. You got to have your feet on the ground. You got to have your feet on the ground. And in the moment you tell a dude, look, he's got your head in the clouds, and you keep saying stuff to try to come back down to the ground, and he doesn't want to do it. Now that right there is for all of you normal, intelligent people, okay? But there is a portion of the black community, and I'm telling you this right now. Umar and dudes like him are more dangerous to the black community than any other group that you can possibly think of. And when I say dangerous, I don't mean dangerous like physical violence. I mean dangerous like manipulative, dangerous like tricking you. Like, sometimes you're looking for an enemy that doesn't look like you. And you can be so focused on someone that doesn't look like you and think that they're your enemy because they don't look like you. And the reality is the enemy, the real enemy, looks just like you. Umar is one of those people. He's going to keep you focused. He's going to keep you focused on what the white man is doing and what white supremacy is doing, so you don't see him with his hand in your fucking pocket. That's his hustle. That's his hustle. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not stupid. I know how black people operate. A lot of this shit I'm saying to black folk, if you watching, is falling on deaf ears. Because you have bought into this bullshit ass narrative. Hook, line, and sinker. Dr. Umar Johnson, what he does is no different than what the Democrats do. It's no different. They play on your sensibilities and your sensitivity to racial concepts, racial ideology, and old problems. Umar sits around and he preaches that bullshit as if we're still in Jim Crow America, so that he can keep you scared and shook and worried about certain shit. And then he sits there and acts like he cares about you so much. Well, I got a question for you. If he says black queens forever, right? If he says snow bunnies never, matter of fact, let me break it down to you. You know the reason why he will say out loud snow bunnies never and black queens forever? Press 1 if you want to know why he says that shit. Press 1 if you want to know why he says that shit. You want to know why he says snow bunnies never and black queens forever? Because he knows 100% that black women have a psychopathic hatred for white women. He knows for a fact that you are envious of them. He knows for a fact that you believe they live better lives than you do. So there's a level of envy there. And because of the way the society has always been and the way it has socialized you, you also suffer from an inferiority complex as it pertains to the snow bunny. So when he says something like that, he knows that that is the very thing you want to hear. Even if in the back of your mind you don't truly believe it, he knows you want to believe it. He knows you want to believe that he and other brothers like him would never deal with the snow bunny, but it's all about the black queens forever. He knows you want to desperately believe that shit. So he'll tell you that lie. If you want to believe, let me break something down for you. If you want to know if a black man seriously loves black women the way Umar claims, where the fuck is his wife? Y'all can't be this slow. Where is his wife that he has been married to, dedicated to, for years? Where is she? He don't got one. Does that sound like a man that loves black women? Tell you what it sounds. It sounds like a man that love to take advantage of black women. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Sound like a man that want to take advantage of black women. But that's the other thing he knows about y'all. He knows that as black women, you'll let men take advantage of you all day long as they tell you what you want to hear. You know the only thing a brother got to do to freely take advantage of black women? All he got to do is praise black women and talk shit about black men. If you're a black man that praises black women and talks shit about black men, black women will let you get away with any damn thing. Ask Derek Jackson. Ask Derek Jackson about it. You could be Pookie in the hood. You could be Pookie in the hood that cheats on your woman, that goes upside your woman's head, that don't work, don't have a license. You drive her car and drop her off at work. You can do all of that shit just as long as you do a couple of things. Just as long as you act like you love black women to death. And you're willing to jump on anybody that she sicks you on. Umar ain't crazy. He knows this shit. He knows this shit. Umar can spend the next however many damn years going from city to city screwing whatever black women he want to screw, both figuratively and literally. And the reason why is because all he got to do is stand up there on that damn stage, run his mouth for a little while about some pro-black positivity, and before he walk off the stage, scream, "Snow bunnies never, black queens forever." I showed y'all the video where he did that shit, and the whole crowd erupted. I don't think I've ever seen a group of people that's this stupid. This nigga stood up there and said, "Snow bunnies never and black queens forever." And everybody's like, "Yeah, yeah." All he did, if you really want to be honest, If you really want to be honest, all Umar Johnson did is he sat back and he studied black prejudice of the modern day. That's all he did. All he did was sit back and study the black prejudice of the modern day. And all he does is feed your bigotry. To, oh, y'all don't like lighter skinned black people. So every chance I get, I'm going to talk shit about lighter skinned black people. Oh, y'all don't like the white woman. So every chance I get, I'm going to talk shit about white women. And act like I care so much about darker skinned women, even though he ain't got one. And every time you look up, he taking a picture with some light, bright chick with a big shit-eating grin on his face. I know he knows that y'all believe that white supremacy is holding you down. So he sits up there and talks about white supremacy holding you down every chance he get. That's all he does. All he does is feed your bigotry. That's all he does. He feeds the bigotry of Black America. And make no mistake about it, it's bigotry. It's bigotry. Let me tell you something. In order for him to show his love for Black queens, he didn't even have to bring up snow bunnies. Why would he need to do that? Why would he need to do that? Why would he even need to bring up, why would he even need to bring up white women to give props to Black women? He doesn't have to do that. But why does he do it? Because he's feeding into your bullshit. That's all he does. He's feeding into your bullshit. There's a reason why. Look, when he decided to go after Kevin Samuels, right? You notice he didn't sit down and have no conversation with Kevin Samuels. You know he didn't sit down and have no conversation with none of the men in these sectors because he knows that's not going to be a good conversation for him. He knows he's going to get exposed. He knows he's going to get exposed. That's the reason why when Anton wanted to debate him, he wanted Anton to pay him to debate him and quoted him some ridiculous number. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, even though Anton has the money, he did that because, sometimes people do shit because they want to save face, right? So instead of Umar admitting that he doesn't want to debate Anton, he'd rather quote him a ridiculous price that in his mind, he know Anton ain't gonna pay him that. Even though Anton got the money. It's like, why would I pay you that just to debate you? Like, get out of here. That's so he can sit back and say, well, I wanted to debate the brother, but he didn't want to pay the fee. Like, get out of here. You didn't want to debate him at all. He didn't want to debate him at all. Because he know he gonna get exposed. He would get exposed. Look, let me tell you something. None of those Negroes that operate like that wants to have that conversation, especially after I know you saw Anton cook Yada Awakening. I know you saw Anton cook his ass. That's what would happen with any of those dudes that pander like that. Yada Awakening, Dr. Umar Johnson, Derek Jackson, they would get cooked. And the reason why they would get cooked is because they're full of shit. You cannot win a debate if everything you claim you believe in is bullshit. You cannot debate from a foundation of bullshit. You're going to get exposed. You're going to get exposed. And see, I keep saying this. I keep saying this. You women, you got to stop falling for this shit. This is what it is. They sit back and they watch y'all on social media. And they say to themselves, wow, these women really seem like they hate black men. So then they jump online and say, you know what the problem is with you black men? You ain't real men because you don't want to pay this and you don't want to do this. And they're doing that shit because they know that you women are going to latch on to it. They're doing that shit because they know that you're going to support that. They are feeding your bigotry. That's all they're doing. They're feeding your bigotry. I know you don't like men, so I'm going to get up here and I'm going to talk about men like a dog while simultaneously kissing your behind no matter what you do wrong. No matter how crazy you act, no matter what you say out of your mouth, I'm going to praise you. But in real life, what was up with Derek Jackson? He was cheating on his wife, right? In real life, what is Umar Johnson doing? He's womanizing, whoremongering. God only knows what Yada Awakening is doing. I've heard rumors about him. I'm not gonna say what rumors I heard because I don't know if they're true or not. So I'm not gonna put that out there. But I've heard things about him. And sooner or later, y'all women are going to realize, like, the dudes that talk shit to y'all, they're not the ones that's problematic. It's the ones that's kissing your behind. But see, the only way you're going to realize that, you're never going to realize that until you start holding yourself accountable. See, as long as you continue to lie to yourself and act like there's nothing wrong with you, you're always going to fall for the Yada Awakenings and the Dr. Umar Johnsons and the Derek Jacksons because their narrative feeds your lie. Their narrative feeds your delusion. The only way them niggas can't run they hustle is if you take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, you know what? I do be tripping. You know what? My shit do stink. You know what? I'm not perfect. See, the only time, when a woman is that real with herself, a nigga like that can't roll up on her selling her no dream. Some nigga roll up on you telling you you're perfect. You gonna look at him like he crazy. But the only way you can do that is you got to keep it real with yourself. And see, that's part of the reason why Umar had a problem with Kevin. Because Kevin was telling women to be honest with themselves. This is the reason why Yada had a problem with Anton. Because Anton is telling women to be real with themselves. If women are being real with themselves, if women are actually holding themselves accountable, niggas like Derek Jackson, Dr. Umar Johnson, Yada Awakening can't hustle those women. But as long as you running around here being delusional and lying to yourself, well, guess what? That lie you're telling yourself that it ain't you, it's all the men, you ain't did nothing wrong, your shit don't stink, there's nothing wrong with the way you operate, it's all of the men. That's like you doing a drug. And them niggas become the drug dealers. Because when they show up, they going to show up with more of that shit. They going to show up saying, sister, it ain't your fault. It's his fault for being a bum. Sister, it ain't your fault. It's his fault for not being a real man. Sister, it ain't your fault. That's their whole hustle. The only difference between Umar and Derek Jackson is Umar does that shit from an Afrocentric angle. That's the only difference. But now one of them niggas is shit. I said it. And any one of you Negroes that's watching this shit, I'll tell you you ain't shit. I'll tell you flat out. Because all of you weirdos, straight up weirdos. Running around here selling people dreams and shit. Get mad at me if you like. I don't care. I don't care. Yo, shout out to Lotus Flower. Lotus Flower said love and support. Shout out to Hollow Ninja said all those years passed by. He kept asking for more money. We still have not seen what he has done with what we gave him already for the school. Shaking my effing head. Shout out to Stan. Stan said, I would argue that the grimy ones have the most gift of gab and most black people are game goofy looking for a savior. That's facts. That's facts. Yo, shout out to Cali Bills coming through with the 100 spot. He said, I got you, big homie, something for the show. Appreciate you.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
Yo, shout out to Hollow Ninja. He said, don't know how to wake up every day and think about one group of people all day, every day. First thing I do is find out how I can better myself daily. Shout out to Stoney Curtis, said Plumbers Union, Painters Union, Electricians Union, Iron Workers Union, all take apprenticeships applications. Facts. Shout out to John Ellison, said, I'm an electrician. I work in utilities. I make $171K last year. Some of my co-workers who work overtime all the time made $250 to $350K in Detroit. There you go. There you go. Shout out to PTM. Said, yo, come to Philly. Umar be outside. Man, get out of here, man. Come to Philly for what? For what? For what? For what? So he can hop on the phone and call his fake goons? Y'all niggas got me twisted, bro. Shout out to Elijah. He said supporting the show. Shout out to Nuke Man said, upon further review, I've been known to be a piece of work sometimes. Okay. Whatever that means. Shout out to Martin said, AM, good to see you, Mr. Consistency. Folks, get the likes up. Yo, shout out to my man Donnell. He said, what up, AM and Beanos?
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
I'm gonna talk about come to Philly, Umar be outside. Nigga, you got me all the way twisted. What, I'm supposed to come to Philly and be outside and get to fighting with Umar? Is that why you said that? Let me ask this question. Do you niggas know how to do anything other than be ignorant ass niggas? Do you know how to do anything other than be ignorant ass niggas? Nigga talking about something here. Come to Philly, Umar be outside. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Negro, please. You got me all the way twisted. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'm gonna show you how I get down. Let me find this shit real. I'm gonna show you how I get down. Hold on. Cause y'all got me twisted. Y'all got me twisted, right? This is how I get down. By the way, hit the Cash App and support the show. Anybody that drop 100 or more on the Cash App side will be a sponsor of the show. Nigga talking about some come to Philly. Come to Philly because Umar be outside. This is what I got. This is what I got for all of you Negroes that have that mentality. This is what I got to say right here.
Well, Josh, you a cinch, bro. Look around, Darius.
Here we go right here. Here we go right here. This is what I got for all you Negroes talking about some come outside. He be outside for real and come do this and show up to this city, nigga.
Yeah, all right, Josh. Wait till we get outside. We get outside, I'm gonna knock you. I called the cops. The white ones.
The white ones.
By the time you get to your trunk, I'll be pointing at you saying him right there. Officer Bradley, I told on you. Brother. Sister. Oh, well, Josh, you a cinch, bro. Look around, Darius. Do I look like the kind of guy to follow hood rules? I'm from a gated community. Where I'm from, that's just called passing on valuable information. Criminal? Oh, well, do you know where I'm from? No, but I know where you're going.
To
jail. You tried to assault me, brother. Oh, well, come on, bro. I got a kid. I don't care. The child can visit you when the law allows. From behind glass. You threatened me, brother. Your kid can see you.
I called the cops. The white ones. By the time we get out here, I'll be pointing at you saying him, Officer Bradley, brother, like I'm not, nigga, that shit don't work on me no more. All that hood bullshit, I'm done with that shit, my nigga. You fuck with me, I'm putting them people in your life. You understand me? The fullest extent. To the full, bro, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I'm in my 40s. I done did all that fighting when I was young. And you know what I learned? A lot of niggas don't learn from an ass whooping. A lot of niggas don't even learn from getting shot. You know one of the things I know for a fact niggas learn from? When they go to that court and that judge picks this up, right? And he does that, that's when you niggas learn. When you have to sit your ass in a 5x9 while everybody else is out here in the summer living their best life, that's when you niggas learn. That's when you learn. That's when you learn. And keep in mind, I'm not just leaving it at that. Not just leaving it at that. You do something to me, my nigga, I'm going, you know what I'm going to do? You do something to me, not only am I going to call them people on you, I'm going to the doctor for anxiety and mental stress. And I'm gonna make sure that doctor prescribes something for my anxiety, because I feared for my life. I'm having trouble sleeping. So right about the time that you get out of jail, you gonna get served with some civil paperwork. I'm gonna sue the shit out of you. I'm gonna sue you for like $2 million. I'm a successful YouTuber. And in order for me to be able to do my job, I have to be in the right mental state. You interfering with a lot of money. Brother, sister. And I don't care. I don't care if you ain't got it. Don't make me no difference. I'm patient. You feel me? Sue you for $2 million and win. You might not have the $2 million, but you got something. Or will have something. And when you finally do get it, I'm gonna be waiting for it. I'm not playing with you Negroes. Talking about come to Philly. Come to Philly for what? Sir, I know what Philly is like. Why would I voluntarily go to the hood? Why would I voluntarily go to a hood that I'm not familiar with? Why? Why? I don't like cities that don't clean up the trash, bruh. If the Angryman, look, when I fly anywhere, I don't fly coach. I fly first class. I have clear and I have pre-check. I pay extra. So I don't gotta wait in line. I pay extra. So I can get on the plane first. So nigga, when I'm paying that much to fly somewhere, you better believe when that motherfucking plane touch down, it's gonna be somewhere beautiful. Somewhere enjoyable. Somewhere where you hooligans can't afford. Somewhere where if you roll up on me and I call the cops, they will immediately know you're the criminal. And they'll say to me, is this him, sir? Yes, that's him. I was out here living my best life, enjoying myself, and this nefarious ne'er-do-well attempted to accost me and prohibit me from enjoying my holiday. I want to press all the charges. Like, nigga, we not doing this. This is a new day. This is a new day. Cause I'm done trying to convince you niggas to be worried about me. Cause at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. You don't gotta be worried about me because you worried about that judge. You worried about them people. You Negroes think I don't know why y'all ain't did nothing to Charleston White. I know why you ain't did nothing to Charleston White. Because you know Charleston White will sit on that stand and do like this. That's why y'all don't bother him. That's why y'all leave him alone. Because you know he gonna press charges. You can call me whatever you can call me whatever you want to call me. But the one thing I know for sure, you niggas is scared of them police. You niggas is scared of that judge. You niggas is scared of that time. It's like I said before, nigga, I don't gotta be hard. You know why? Because time is hard. That gavel is hard. That cell is hard. That bunk is hard. Them bars are hard. Shout out to Akiak. He said, come to Philly. Nah, Umar got Philly looking goofy right about now. And this is coming from somebody from Philly. Shout out to Akiak. Let's see. Shout out to Mark. It says, salute Donnell and Cali Bills. Appreciate you. Shout out to AR Smitty. He said, bro thought he was talking to Steven Jackson. Shout out to Hemi B. He says, soon as a ninja get cuffed instantly, Can I call my mama? Mama! Yeah, exactly. Be the hardest Negroes in the world. Till they get locked up. Then all of a sudden, it's shit, Jack. Let me call my mama. Yo, shout out to Aaron. He said Dr. Umar equal houseboy, just a redneck here, but any black person thinks they got it in a bad way. Go to the Southwest or Dakota and visit a native reservation. They didn't even get citizenship until 1924, 60 years after the 14th. Dang. Appreciate you, broski. Yo, shout out to Kadeen in the building. Kadeen said everything, big brother. Excuse. He said evening, big brother. Salute to you and the BINO Nation. You know, with Dr. Umar bank account frozen, them donations he asking for gonna come with interest. So if you donate 50 next time, it's gonna be 500 or better. Damn. Damn.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match
That
up.
shit is crazy. Yeah, Umar is bugging. Umar is bugging. Yo, shout out to Devon. Appreciate you. He said for today's show. Shout out to my man Burnell in the building. Burnell coming through here showing serious love. You feel me? Appreciate
Here we go
you,
again.
bro.
$100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
And look, y'all might think that I'm joking. I may sound like I'm joking, but I'm so serious, bro. I'm so serious. Look, I'm gonna show you how serious I am. Show you how serious I am. Watch this. Hold on. Hold on. Watch this shit right here. I'm gonna show you just how serious I am. Watch this shit. I know she hear this phone ringing.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey yourself.
so let me ask you a question. So I'm sitting there talking about Umar Johnson, right? And somebody in the chat said, come to Philly because Umar be outside all the time, right? And I was like, bro, what is with y'all ignorant niggas like that? Bruh, if first of all, my mentality is totally different now. I showed him that video where the dude was like, yo, wait till you come outside. And he was like, I called the cops.
Right.
Brother. Like,
Get away from me.
So look, here's the thing. I told him, I said, you want to know how serious I am? I said, bro, not only am I calling the cops, but I'm going to the doctor to get medication for anxiety. And right about the time you coming out of jail, I'm suing you for ridiculous money because you might not have nothing, but I'm patient, right? And look, these niggas think I'm joking. We went to the movies today to see Fantastic Four.
Oh my God.
There was two white girls. What age bracket would you say they were?
Probably mid-teens.
Mid-teens, right? So it's two white girls sitting a couple seats down from my wife, talking through the whole movie, right?
Oh, fucking
What did I
movie.
do? What did I do?
Hold my nachos. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take care of this shit.
What
Don't
what
say
did
nothing to
what,
them girls.
what
He went to the manager.
I snitched on him. I went straight out there to the lobby and found the manager and straight up dropped a dime on them two little Beckys. I said, yeah, there's two people that's in my row that's talking in the movie and they're ruining the experience for everyone. It's
No,
ridiculous.
it was ridiculous. I don't mind people talking, but it was ridiculous. If the movie got louder, they got louder. Like, come on.
I went in there, I said, excuse me, can I speak to a manager?
Did you pull your pants up?
Yeah. I had my hands on my hips. Can I speak to a manager? Yes, I'm okay. I'm in theater 3. I'm trying to watch the Fantastic Four, and in my row there are two young ladies that are just talking incessantly, like they won't stop. They are ruining the movie experience for everyone in there. Can you
Right.
please send an usher or someone?
She came too.
Yeah, right. They came.
I think they was on the wall, like watching them for a hot second, not to make it obvious, and then they came.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm telling. I'm telling. I'm so. Oh my God, you have no idea the tremendous weight that has been lifted off my shoulders. There used to be a time back in the day where certain shit would happen, and I'd be like, "Damn, I can't tell it. Damn, I can't tell it. Not no more. Mm-mm. I'm telling. I'm telling. I'm telling. I'm
Nah, that was
telling.
just
I'm telling.
ridiculous and inconsiderate. Like,
I'm telling.
Jesus.
I don't care. You could be a little kid. I'm telling. You could be a
You know,
little
Martin
kid.
Luther kids.
You could be a little kid. I'm telling, bruh. There's some kids that used to live out here. I started to call the cops on them. To this day, I regret not doing it. I said, that's all right. I next time I will. Sure will. Sure will. I'm telling. In fact, when the police came out here the other day and mistake them people that was cleaning that house for somebody trying to break in the house, what did I say about it?
Not only was you in the driveway with your hands on your hips, like, get back here. He's so nosy. He said you
I went,
appreciate their response time.
look, look, I was out there and the lady was out there. She's like, I can't believe this. They gonna have the cops come over here with their guns drawn and we're just cleaning the house and stuff. I said, oh my God, they called the cops on you? She's like, yeah, they called the cops on me. And we're just cleaning the house. And, you know, they drew their guns. This is ridiculous. I said, that's a shame, man. They didn't have to do all of that. Came right in the house. And what I say to you?
But I appreciate their response time. Their response time was very impressive. What?
Bro, they showed up so quick. Oh, my God. And then when they showed up and jumped out, guns drawn and shit. I said, yeah, bro, we got them Kojak cops over here.
But you know what? When you have a business like that, your shit should be branded. They had cars out there that look like they belong in the hood. Like, it looked like y'all breaking into this house. It looked like, because these cars don't belong in this neighborhood.
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like.
So, state your business.
And
Need your
can't wait.
license number and stuff on the side of your truck.
And look, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. See, this is the closest thing to a gated community for me because there's a lot of cops that live over here, right? I can't wait to be in a gated community. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see somebody that ain't supposed to be in the neighborhood Be in the window with the binoculars and shit.
I don't like that shit.
My wife come in here and be like, you know, there's some Negroes out there. Negroes?
Negroes, you say? You know, Negroes.
I'm gonna be like Danny Glover on on the cookout. Negroes?
Ridiculous.
I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care. All right, I'm gonna let you go.
Bye, crazy.
Y'all think I'm lying, bro? I don't, bruh. Look. I gotta say it. I gotta show it again. Because this is, bro. This is me. This is me now. This dude right here. This guy right here is my spirit animal. This whole mentality right here. The way that's how I step outside in the morning, bruh. I be looking, I be up and like,
Yeah, all right, Josh, wait till we get outside. We get outside, I'm gonna knock you. I called the cops. The white ones.
the white ones.
By the time you get to your trunk, I'll be pointing at you saying him right there. Officer Bradley, I told on you. Brother. Sister. Oh, well, Josh, you a cinch, bro. Look around, Darius. Do I look like the kind of guy to follow hood rules? I'm from a gated community. Where I'm from, that's just called passing on valuable information. Criminal? Oh, well, do you know where I'm from? No, but I know where you're going. To jail. You tried to assault me, brother. Oh, well, come on, bro. I got a kid. I don't care. The child can visit you when the law allows. From behind glass. You threatened me, brother. Your kid can see you.
You threatened me, brother. And look, let me tell you something. Here's one thing that I have learned that is the most valuable thing in the world. It's the most valuable thing in the world, right? So this morning, me and my wife got up, right? And we went to the DMV. Because, you know, everybody, you got to transfer your license into the real ID shit. Y'all know about that shit, right? Press 1 if y'all know about the shit. The whole real ID thing, right? So here in North Carolina, especially Raleigh, I don't know about any other place in North Carolina, but here in Raleigh, there's a huge problem with the DMV. Like, I'm talking about, bruh, I'm talking about a huge problem with the DMV to the point where you could show up to the DMV to get in line 4 a.m. and it'll already be some people in line, bruh. I'm talking about niggas is in line at the DMV like it's Black Friday. Niggas is in line at the DMV like Apple just dropped a new product, bruh. You feel me? So my wife, she got us a while back. She set us up to appointments, right? So we pull up to the DMV. I'm parking the car and my wife is like, oh my God, look, they staring at us already. Like, cause my wife like to be low key and, you know, she like to fly under the radar and shit. She don't like flashy shit, right? I'm pulling up but she asked me to drive. You feel what I'm saying? So we driving the Corvette. I pull up, everybody staring at me. We get out, and we don't got to wait in line. Everybody in line, we walk up to the front of the thing, and they looking at us like we crazy and shit. We walk in there. I swear to God, we was probably in there we was in there probably like 10, 15 minutes at the most. I'm talking about we go in there, sit down, and they call us up to go do our paperwork and stuff. And the people that was sitting in there before I got in there was still sitting in there when we left. You feel me? Now, the funny thing about that, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, sometimes certain things isn't really what you think it is. You feel me? Like, them people outside probably thought we was getting some kind of special privilege when really it was just my wife's foresight to get an appointment, because she got that appointment months ago, right? Because it's hard to find appointments for the DMV and shit, right? But I went in there and got my stuff situated. I'm like, cool, I got that situated. So now when I catch flights or whatever, it ain't no issue or whatever. I got the real ID, right? And so I'm like, I gotta check and make sure that my clear is up to date, and I gotta go do the thing for the pre-check or whatever, right? Which basically clear is like, instead of you, like when you go through the airport, instead of having to stand in line with everybody else, you can skip the line, right? So with clear, when you get to what is the shit called? What is the shit called? Damn, I can't think of the name of the shit. The shit where you gotta walk through and all of that bullshit. Damn, I can't think of the name of it. I told y'all, TSA, thank you. So you get ready to go through the TSA thing, and Clear has a different line. You go through a different line, and then they bring you to the TSA agent in front of everybody else. So you get to skip the whole line, right? The crazy thing about it is, if you also got pre-check, you go through even faster, right? I'm saying all that to say this. One thing I've learned about life in general, right? If you got your paperwork right, niggas can't fuck with you. If your paperwork is on point, okay? See, a lot of you niggas be running around here upset because you think you having to deal with racism. Nigga, get your paperwork right. You will be amazed at the doors that open for you when you get your paperwork right, nigga. This is all you gotta do. Get your paperwork right. You feel me? Like real shit. Like, bro. I got all my shit. When I say I got all my shit, bruh, I be looking for shit. I be looking for more shit. I be trying to make sure I'm covered here, I'm covered there. I'm like, bro, the way I be moving through the world now, that shit be making niggas mad. Bro, I got one membership. There's certain restaurants I go to, and these be restaurants, like if I go on vacation and shit, they be having these restaurants and shit, right? It could be a line forming out the fucking door, but because I got that membership, I can skip all them niggas. I can just walk in front of them niggas like, nah, nigga, I'm next. Niggas be looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, get your paperwork right, bro. Get your paperwork right. Tell you something else too. Once I get my bread to a certain level, I tell you something else I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna donate to the police. I'm gonna do that too. That way when niggas want to fuck with me, they be like, ain't that a yeah, so and so, and I'll make sure they know this donation is from the Angryman. Yeah, that nigga that be on YouTube, him. Fuck out of here, bro. Niggas don't know how to play this game, bro. And the reason, and you know the main reason why niggas don't know how to play this game? Because you spend too much time listening to goofy ass niggas like Dr. Umar. You spend too much time listening to goofy niggas like Dr. Umar that don't know how to play this game. Because if he knew how to play this game, he wouldn't be on the internet crying right now. That's just real shit. That's just real shit, bro. Shout out to IMP. He says, salute to the light-skinned God. AM, appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Abdul. Says, showing support, AM. Shout out to Jerome. He said, bring the truth, bruh. Shout out to Kendra. Said, paying tuition. Shout out to Dark Power. Shout out to Ambush. He said his wife is that BW statue. Shout out to Abdul. He said, appreciate the content, AM. Shout out to Treese. Treese said, support. Shout out to Quentin. Quentin said, thanks for the stream, AM. Shout out to Uncle Uber. He said, by the way, why do you have a gavel? Somebody actually got it for me. Like, I forgot who bought me that gavel, but one of the people that watched the show, and forgive me for not remembering their name, but one of the brothers that watched the show bought me the gavel. Because I said something about, I was talking shit one day, and I was like, yo, I wish I had a gavel I could bang right now. And one of the brothers, you know, saw me say that, and he sent me a gavel. You feel what I'm saying? So I've always had it sitting up here on the thing, right? But going back to what I was saying, get your paperwork right. Stop listening, bro. Stop listening to these goofy Negroes like Dr. Umar Johnson. Bruh, I'm telling you, there's so many things that you can benefit from as an American citizen. And if you listen to people like Umar Johnson and you run around here with this isolation mentality, this separatist mentality, you know, running around here acting like you not a part of America, bro, you're only depriving yourself. You ain't hurting nobody else. You ain't hurting nobody else. You're just depriving yourself of benefits and things that you could be taking advantage of. But no. Bro, do you realize there's brothers running around here right now that could own a gun legally if they want to, but they so goofy, they think that Negroes can't. Look, I'm gonna show you how goofy it is, right? I went to the gun store. When I was younger, I went to the gun store in VA, right? And I started exercising my Second Amendment right? But then there was a long period of time where I didn't really mess with the guns like that, right? And so then I started doing it again because of the pandemic. I said, okay, I need to make sure I got some or whatever, right? So then I started getting back heavy into guns and shit, right? So I go to one gun store out here in Raleigh, Carolina Gun Runners. Shout out to all of the guys at Carolina Gun Runners. They always treat me well when I go over there, right? So I'm going through there looking at the guns or whatever, and they got a bunch of suppressors in there. Bro, growing up in the black community and not knowing shit about certain things, I always thought a suppressor was illegal. Anybody else? Press 1 in the chat if you also thought that a suppressor, which we also call silencers, press a 1 if you thought they were illegal. I thought they were illegal, bruh. I literally thought they were illegal, and they're not. They're not. Like, you have to do a different background check, and you got to pay a freaking tax, a freaking tax stamp for it. But the shits ain't even illegal. You said they used to be illegal? When did they stop being illegal? What year did they stop being illegal? Does anybody know? Said never illegal, just price too high. Yeah, I thought they were illegal, right? And see, let me say this. Let me say this, right? And y'all forgive me, I'm getting a little drowsy. It's getting close to my bedtime. My wife think that's funny as hell, bro. You know what I figured out? I figured out that when I go to sleep around like 8, sometimes 7, that should be the best sleep of my life, bro. I ain't even gonna front. Now, the unfortunate part is I end up waking up at like 3 in the freaking morning, but that damn sleep be critical, bro. That should be crucial. But anyway, this goofy shit with Dr. Umar, the reason why it annoys the hell out of me is because his mentality and the way he operates is the reason why a lot of us coming from the black community don't know certain shit. You feel me? Antonio said, damn, Unc, 7. Hell yeah, 7. Hell yes. 7. Yes. Yes, look, let me tell you something. Look, y'all niggas, y'all young niggas, y'all can tell as many jokes as you want. You can call a nigga old. I don't care. Nigga, I went to sleep at 7 last night, nigga. No, it was 7:30. I went to sleep at 7:30 last night, nigga. For real. All joking aside, I don't give a fuck. You can call me old or whatever, nigga. That shit, bruh. Bruh. Shamar said, I'm in bed right now. Niggas think it's a game, bruh. It ain't a game. Like, you think it's a game, nigga? Shit. Don't threaten me with a good time. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about Umar, right? That same old typical black mentality, it's a really, what's the best way for me? Because you know, the way Umar talks and the way he operates, that's typical of the black community. This is the reason why the black community embraced him so much, right? all that same old white supremacy, the white man this, the white man that, and the reason why we ain't got this and we ain't got that. And you know what's so crazy? What's crazy is you grow up listening to that bullshit, and then when you get grown and you decide to step away from that shit, you start to find out a lot of the shit they was telling you you couldn't do, you can actually do. A lot of the shit they was telling you that you couldn't do, you'll find out like, holy shit, I can do this. All I gotta do is do this, and this. And then, bruh, like, the black community growing up in it will have you prohibited. It'll have you thinking that you can't do some shit, bruh. It'll have you thinking that you're so limited that you're just, like, bruh. But the main reason why Umar has such a grip on the black community is because this nigga just sits back and he analyzes the black community and everything that black people wish the society would do or say. Umar says that shit or promises that shit. And niggas have become so here's a better example. Here's a better example, right? Black people have gotten to this point of cognitive dissonance where they will willingly believe a lie simply because the lie aligns with the narrative that they want to push. Right? The problem is black folk will believe that lie for so long that eventually they stop thinking it's a lie. They get to the point where they start to believe that it's true. And that's the dangerous territory. The illest thing about Dr. Umar Johnson is the shit he knows he's lying about. A lot of black people think is true. Like when he sits up there and tells lies about black men, and the way we treat black women, he knows it's bullshit. He knows it's a lie. But black women have been telling themselves that black men ain't shit for so damn long that when he sits up there and says black men ain't shit, they think he's telling the truth. Because they themselves believe that, even though it's not true. You get what I'm saying? So this is the reason why they embrace him. And I'm just like, look, I was on Izzy Band's show yesterday, right? And he was playing a stream that he was on with a bunch of ass ignorant Negroes. And I know some of you Negroes watch my show that was on that panel. And yesterday was confirmation for me why I stopped going on panels like that. Because you niggas ain't gonna give me no damn migraine. It's not gonna happen, right? But he's sitting there having a conversation with them Negroes. And you sit there and listen to niggas talk. And listening to them niggas talk, you can kind of get an understanding of how it's so easy for Umar to manipulate the black community. Because niggas be on some, this shit defies explanation. Like, I'll give you an example. There was one nigga that was up there arguing with Israel, right? There's one nigga arguing with Izzy Bands. Izzy had brought up the theory of Pangea, which is when all of the continents were supposedly connected, right? So this nigga sits up there and says, Izzy, you an idiot, or some stupid shit like that, right? Because you brought up Pangea. First of all, there was no humans back then because that was the time of the dinosaurs, right? So this dude starts going in on this rant about dinosaurs, and somebody brought up dragons. And this Negro said flat out, he was like, well, dinosaurs existed, but dragons didn't. Now, me being a person of intelligence, I just got one question. What makes you believe that dinosaurs existed, but dragons didn't? And now I'm asking this question from, like, forget everything you know about history, what you were taught in school. I want you to think about this purely analytically. I want you to think about this logically, okay? In other words, for the same reasons that you don't believe a dragon existed, you can use them same reasons to dispute the existence of dinosaurs. Now let's say that's for a person that doesn't believe that, dragons exist or existed, right? The same logic that you can use to say that dragons didn't exist, you can use that same logic to say dinosaurs didn't exist. The same logic you can use to say that dinosaurs did exist, you can use that same logic to say dragons existed. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because what I want to know is why that particular nigga, what gives him the conviction to say definitively that dinosaurs existed, but dragons didn't? I mean, it's not like this nigga saw an actual dinosaur in real life. You get what I'm saying? But he was so thoroughly convinced about it that he told another man that he was an idiot for saying that human beings existed a certain time back in history. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, the only reason that you feel that adamant about dinosaurs existing and dragons not existing is because somebody told your dumb ass that shit. That's the entire point that I felt. Like, nigga, the only reason you believe dinosaurs existed is because that's what you were taught. The same way you were taught dragons didn't exist. In other words, this shit could have literally been swapped around. You could have been taught that dragons existed and dinosaurs didn't, and you'd have had the same damn argument just in favor of dragons and against dinosaurs. Like, listening to niggas try to be logical is one of the most aggravating things I have ever experienced in my life. And the reason why it is so easy for Dr. Umar Johnson to get over on black people is because black folk black people have this thing where if it's not something that black people traditionally believe, it ain't right. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Like, here's a prime example. If I had the Infinity Gauntlet, meaning I could change reality, I could snap my fingers and change reality. If I snapped my fingers and said in my mind, starting tomorrow there will be no more racism. So in my mind, I say, starting tomorrow, there'll be no more racism. Do you realize that moving forward, even though there are no instances of racism happening, black people will still be complaining about racism? Black people will still find racism in everything. And the reason why is because black people are not ruled by logic. Black people are ruled by tradition. Black people are ruled by tradition. Whatever black folks are used to and whatever black folks believe, that's what it's always going to be. Black people are one of the few groups of people that, in my opinion, hate change. They hate change. They hate change. They hate doing anything that goes outside of the norm of what we already know. And this is the reason why it's so easy for Umar to trick black people. Because he's smart enough to know that all he has to do is cater to certain tropes, and you're going to buy into it hook, line, and sinker. There's black people right now. I don't care how many scandals come out about Umar. There's black people right now that still support him. They're still going to follow him. They're still going to contribute to him. They're still going to like for instance, here's another example. Let's move Umar out the way for a second, right? They've been finding evidence left and right that Obama has been involved in some nefarious shit, right? Guess what? Black folk ain't never gonna believe it. If by some stretch of the imagination, Barack Obama actually got prosecuted for some shit, black folks would swear up and down the only reason he's being prosecuted is because he's a black man and this is some racist bullshit. I don't give a damn. You could show them all the evidence in the world. They're going to say this is racism. They're going to say it's racism. They're going to say it's racism. They're going to say that, in fact, they're going to use that because Trump is in office right now. They're going to use that to confirm their previous belief that Trump is a racist. In other words, black folk are set in their ways. Black folk are set in their ways. They are set in their ways. You feel what I'm saying? Somebody do me a favor. Could you please kick Billy Wong out of my chat room? Please kick Billy Wong out of my chat room. Immediately. Shout out to QD Exec. He said Dr. Umar's new name is Professor Grift. Oh my God. Like there's no epiphany. You feel me? There's no epiphany. There's no moment. You know how you could have a moment where you've believed something to be true for an extended period of time? Like, for instance, for me, one of those things is back in the day, I used to believe that the Democrats were better than the Republicans, right? For every black person, there's always going to be a moment where something you believed is challenged. And in that moment, when you're presented with new evidence, you can do one of two things. You can look at the new evidence and you can say, you know what? I was wrong about this. And you move accordingly, and that contributes to your growth and development as a person. That's what the intelligent black person does. But what the ignorant black person does is when they're presented with that new evidence, they refuse to acknowledge the new evidence, and they hold on to the thing that they believed before because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, because it has become part of their identity. You have to realize that a lot of black people, they're always going to be Democrats because it's part of their identity. They're always going to be social justice warriors because it's part of their identity. They're always going to think that the white man is out to get them because it's part of their identity. They're always going to identify with the struggle because it's part of their identity, because to do otherwise is uncharted territory for them, and it's scary. It's frightening to step out into something new and try to figure out who you are without all of those things that you used to clutch to for comfort. Because guess what? If you go and you get a job and you suck at that job and you get fired, now in the back of your mind, you know that you weren't good at that job, but that's a harsh reality. That's a reality that requires you to look at your limitations and understand that, damn, maybe I have some improving to do, right? But instead of having to go down that route, which is way more difficult and way more self-exploring, right? You'd rather say, that white supervisor fired me because he's racist. See, if you sit back and you say that white supervisor fired me because he's racist, and trust it don't even got to be a white supervisor. If it's a black supervisor, what you'll say is, well, he's an Uncle Tom. The higher ups are white and they told him to fire me, and instead of him looking out for me, he listened to what white folks said and fired me. So it's always going to boil down to racism, right? So when you say that, well, now you can sit back and say, well, I was good at the job. It wasn't me. It had nothing to do with my performance. It's because of my skin tone. It's because I'm black. That's the reason why they fired me. See, that gives you the ability to escape accountability. That gives you the ability to escape personal responsibility. Now you can just put the blame on somebody else, and now you can move on with your life. And the only problem with that is you are hindering your personal growth and development. And that goes on a lot amongst black people. And Dr. Umar Johnson is the type of individual that caters to that very mentality. He's an enabler. He's the type of person where if you lost a job and you know in the back of your mind that you lost that job because of your poor performance, and even if you say to him, well, I think I lost the job because of poor performance, he'll look at you and say, well, let me ask you this question. What's the name of the company? Oh, that company's run by white people. You know what, brother? You didn't lose that job because you weren't doing that job good enough. You lost that job because that is a white supremacist company. You didn't lose that job because of your performance. You didn't lose that job because of your performance. You didn't lose that job because of your performance. Umar's the type of nigga that'll do that shit. He will fully enable your bullshit. Because if he's enabling your bullshit, you're going to be more comfortable with him being a voice for you. You're going to be more comfortable with him being the representation of you because he's catering to your bullshit. He's giving you all of the things that you need in order to continue to believe your self-defeating bullshit. And that's why these niggas will put him on platforms and here's another question you got to ask yourself. Why would if we truly live in a world, like think about this. If the world is as racist as Dr. Umar Johnson is saying, right? If white supremacy is such a problem, right? Why do they let him sit on platforms and say the shit that he says? Why would they allow him to go from platform to platform to platform to platform saying all of that shit? Is it possible that the reason the powers that be have absolutely no problem with him saying what he's saying is because that rhetoric, that ideology that Dr. Umar Johnson spews serves to keep you ignorant, to keep you in victimhood mentality, to keep you dependent. Because like I said, the thing that Dr. Umar Johnson does, the Democrat Party does as well. They just do it in a different way. See, Umar Johnson is swearing up and down that you're being oppressed by institutional racism. The Democrats do the same shit. But they split hairs. There'll be white individuals in the Democratic Party pretending like systemic racism is hurting black people, but they're not part of that systemic racism. They're the ones that's fighting against it, even though they themselves are rich, white, and all of those different things, right? It's the same shit. It's the same hustle. It's the same hustle. It's no different. It's absolutely no difference. Yo, what's going on with the support? We only got 33 people that have supported the show. We need 10 people to hit the Cash App and support the show. We need 10 people to hit the Cash App and support the show. It can't all be on the sponsors. It can't all be on the sponsors to support the show. But yeah, with Umar, like this is going to be a major L for the community. This is going to be a major L. Once all of this shit comes out about Umar, it's going to be a major L. But guess what? Black people gonna breeze past it like it ain't a major L. In fact, some of them might even say, "Oh, the reason why Umar, the Umar didn't do anything wrong. The only reason why he's going through this is because he was trying to help black people." That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. Watch. You mark my words. That's what they're gonna say. Shout out to Jay Feezy, said checking in. Appreciate you. Shout out to Benz. He said OG turning into a whole Karen. Shout out to Antonio. He said black folk got to learn how to think for themselves, and the lack of God in our culture has a lot to do with that. Shout out to Jerome. He said, did you like the movie? You know what? I actually did. I actually did. I didn't see anything wrong with the movie. There's only two things I saw wrong with the Fantastic Four movie, right? I didn't like that they switched Silver Surfer to a female Silver Surfer, right? I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. They could have just kept the male Silver Surfer and it would have been fine, right? So I didn't like that. Now, even though I didn't like that, she wasn't doing none of that girl power shit in the movie. So even though they swapped out the Silver Surfer for a female Silver Surfer, the movie wasn't woke. I can honestly say the movie wasn't woke. The movie wasn't woke. If it was woke, it would have annoyed the shit out of me. Like, bro, I was literally sitting there watching the movie, thinking to myself, holy shit, I don't hate this movie. I was like, holy shit, I don't hate this movie. But here's something that I'm starting to peep, right? This is something I'm starting to realize. All the times back in the day when everybody said they liked the movies, the superhero movies, every superhero movie that people liked back in the day, I hated. And all of the ones now that people claim they don't like, I actually like. I didn't dislike the new Superman movie. I didn't dislike the new Fantastic Four movie. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't dislike them. Because they actually are like comic book movies. Like the new Superman movie is like a comic book movie. The new Fantastic Four movie is like a comic book movie. I thought I was gonna be annoyed at the retro shit, but it's retro. It's almost like a society that kept the look of the 50s, but they still have new technology. You feel me? And it's like they're on Earth, they're on Earth 828. That's a different Earth than the one that our Marvel universe is. I think our Marvel universe is in Earth 314, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me check. What Earth? What Earth is our Earth in Marvel? No, 616. Our Earth is Earth 616 in the Marvel universe, but the Earth that they were on was Earth 828. So they were on a different which that makes sense, right? Pedro Pascal did not get on my nerves as much as I thought he would. He actually was a decent Reed Richards. He wasn't the best Reed Richards, but he was a decent Reed Richards. The movie wasn't woke. There's only two problems I had with the movie. I didn't like them having a female Silver Surfer, even though her powers as a Silver Surfer were what they were supposed to be. So they didn't nerf her, right? They finally got Ben Grimm right, except one thing. I didn't like his accent. He didn't like Ben Grimm is supposed to have a Brooklyn accent. And in my opinion, he did not have a Brooklyn accent. So the only two things I had, the only two problems I had out of that movie is I didn't like female Silver Surfer, the idea of a female Silver Surfer, and I didn't like Ben Grimm's accent. But everything else I liked. Like Ben Grimm's personality was the right type of personality. Johnny Storm's personality was the right type of personality. The interaction between Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm was the right type of interaction. I can honestly say I didn't have a problem with it, bro. I would watch it again. I would watch it again. I didn't have a problem. You said they beat Galactus too easy. Well, I can see where you would say that, but the problem with characters that are that powerful in the movies, they always have to do stuff like that because some characters just don't translate well into movies. And Galactus is one of those characters. You feel what I'm saying? And keep in mind, like, let's keep it funky. Like Galactus is Galactus, but let's not. Galactus is Galactus, but let's not discount Reed Richards. Galactus is Galactus, but Reed Richards is Reed Richards. Like, let's not take away from Mr. Fantastic. The dude is a super genius. So let's not do that. Like, I get Galactus is a powerful being, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You feel what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is this. Out of every Fantastic Four movie that we've gotten, this was the best one. This was the best one. Out of every Fantastic Four movie that we have gotten, this was the best one. The CGI for Johnny Storm was awesome. They finally made Ben Grimm look like comic book accurate. He was as strong as he was supposed to be. And I don't know, I think the retro shit worked. I think them having them be retro actually worked. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I feel like they're trying to get away from the woke shit. I feel like they're trying to get away from the woke shit. Because this movie was really, it was really heavy on family values. It was really heavy on family values. And I thought they were gonna make Sue Storm and female Silver Surfer the heroes. And even though they played a major role, it didn't come off like some Mary Sue type shit. It didn't come off like no woke shit. Like I was literally watching the movie. I was genuinely invested. And y'all know how I am. Y'all know I'm super critical of hero movies. I'm super critical of hero movies. At first I thought, well, maybe I'm just starting to get soft. Maybe I'm just starting to, maybe I got superhero fatigue and I'm just accepting whatever. But I know that's not true because I just finished the second season of Sandman and I fucking hated that shit. I hated that. That shit was pure woke bullshit. Through and through. Nothing but woke bullshit, right? I hated that shit. But the new James Gunn Superman movie, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was spectacular, but I didn't hate it. And I see where he can go with it. Like, it opens the doors for so many things. Like, I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to the Fantastic Four, if they make the Marvel movies the way they made this Fantastic Four moving forward, we might actually have some shit to look forward to. Because that movie was a comic book movie. That movie, and when I say comic book movie, I mean it feels like the comic. It feels like the comic. It doesn't feel like you just took some characters from a comic and just threw the shit. Like, for instance, the first X-Men movie, it did not feel like the comic. In fact, none of the X-Men movies, with the exception of maybe Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past came close. It came the closest. But all the rest of the X-Men movies, it didn't feel like the comic. It didn't. Wolverine and Deadpool felt like the comic. That felt like a comic book movie. But a lot of the superhero movies lately, they haven't felt like comic book movies because a lot of them suffered from that Christopher Nolan bullshit. And this is the reason why I had a problem with Christopher Nolan, is because he wanted to take superhero movies away from that comic book feel and make them more realistic. And then because of the success of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, everybody was trying to make realistic superhero movies, which is bullshit. Well, I don't go to see a superhero movie because I want it to be realistic. I want it to be fantastical. I want it to be a comic book. I want it to be fiction. I want them to do some shit that you can't do in real life. That's the entire point of a damn comic book. You're supposed to feel like you're in another world, not the world that you live in. You feel me? And this Fantastic Four movie, it did not feel like the world that we live in. It felt it. I'm gonna tell you the vibes it gave me. A lot of people said it's a lot of people said that it was it gave WandaVision vibes. I disagree. You know what this Fantastic Four movie gave? It gave Watchmen vibes. If you remember the movie The Watchmen, that's the vibes I got from this. In fact, I was so invested in it. I was like, damn. So they're on Earth 828. I wonder what their Spider-Man looks like. I wonder what, like, I was like, because really, to be truthfully honest, they could reboot the Marvel universe and have they could reboot all of the characters and have them on that planet, have them on that version of Earth. If they really wanted to, they could reboot the Marvel universe and just have them on Earth 828 and have Iron Man and all of them and make them more comic book accurate. They literally could do that, bruh. So that's like, bruh, that's the only reason why, like, I just went and saw it. I just went and saw it today at like noon. Cause me and my wife, we went to the DMV. We left the DMV and went and ate breakfast. And then we came back to the crib and I was like, you know what? Let's go see the Fantastic Four. And so we left and went to go see the Fantastic Four. And bruh, trust me, if I would have hated it, this stream would have been strictly about the Fantastic Four. I would have went on a whole rant about it. But I actually enjoyed the movie. So that's what I think about, that's what I think about the Fantastic Four movie. I actually enjoyed it. Said Fantastic Four First Steps is way better than Superman. It was better than Superman. It was. I ain't gonna front. It was better than Superman. It wasn't, it wasn't way better, but it was better. I will say that. Did you like the Thunderbolts? I didn't watch that bullshit. I did not watch that bullshit, and I refuse to watch it. Yo, shout out to Thundercracker said, what kind of membership is that? I want it. Laugh my ass off. I'm not sure what membership you're talking about. Shout out to Nalima, said he needs check and rehab and therapy. Shout out to Smooth Operator, said, you ever heard of Malcolm Jamal Warner's Nah podcast, Not All Hood? Shed light on this very topic. Appreciate you as always, OG. Nah, I never seen that. I'm gonna check it out though. Shout out to Furious 5 Bills. Appreciate you. Shout out to Guns and Butter, said, to the hardest intro / outro on YouTube. Keep cooking, AM. Appreciate you. But yo, with that being said, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I'm going to try to get to sleep by 9 o'clock. Salute to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all. Trust and believe. If you go check out Fantastic Four, trust me, you're gonna be like, okay, I see what Angryman is saying. Because you're not gonna hate it. That's one thing I'm gonna say. You're not gonna hate it. You feel what I'm saying? You're not gonna hate it because it's not a bad movie at all. You know, all of the things that I thought was gonna annoy me didn't annoy me. Even the female Silver Surfer didn't annoy me. I didn't want her to be female because I like the original Silver Surfer, but she didn't annoy me. Neither did Pedro Pascal. He didn't annoy me the way I thought he would. You feel what I'm saying? But with that being said, shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for supporting the show. As always, make sure you guys go check out my book, The Angryman Standard, which is available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar, and it will come up on Amazon. Also, make sure you guys go over and check out the merchandise over at shopBinoNation.com. Again, that's shopBinoNation.com. Check out what we got going on over there. But other than that, man, salute to everybody. Appreciate you guys. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?